everyone, my name is Yele of Yele Stitches, and if you don't know about Yele Stitches yet, just look at my top. Yele stitched it. You get it? Okay, so today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a pre-tied edge wrap. That it's a turban that looks like you tied an edge wrap. It looks like this with a beautiful knot in front. Don't worry, you will see what it looks like when we finish. Let's get right into it, shall we? The first thing we want to do is to fold our fabric into two and then measure the height of 13 inches. You can measure from 13 to 18 inches depending on how big you want the cap to be. I'm using 13 inches because my cap is not going to be that big. And then I measured a base of 12.5 inches. Now I would prefer you measure a base of 13 to 15 inches instead, but I am using 13 inches by 12.5 inches. Now the 13 inches also includes the 1 inch that I'm going to roll up at the end of it. Like that is what I'm showing you. I'm still going to roll up 1 inch. So put that into consideration when you're making your cap to make it either longer and wider if you want it to be large, or shorter if you want it to be a small cap. So you see, I just squeeze it on that side. I'm showing you what it would look like when we are through with it, or when we finish making it from the half circle we just cut out. And now I got the black satin because we want it to be satin lined. We want it to protect our hair and be very nice and sweet to our hair. So I got the black satin, and I'm going to use the African print arc that I just drew as a template for it. So I'm going to just cut out my satin with my African print template. Putting that aside, we are going to now make our wrap, or the beautiful knot. So we're going to need fabric to make our beautiful knot. Now I am cutting my fabric 3 times because I don't have enough fabric to make a continuous long tie, and I'm cutting it 3 times. But you can skip cutting it 3 times if you have enough fabric, about 3 yards length, to be able to cut it continuously. So we need a width of 9 inches, for the wrap. The reason why it's about 9 inches is because when it squeezes up, it sort of like shrinks. But if you have a fabric that doesn't shrink, like it's very thick, you might not need up to 9 inches. You might need about just 7 inches width for your fabric, but I use 9 inches. And you see that I folded it into 2 because I'm trying to cut 2 at the same time. Yes, smart gettings, that was me. So I'm trying to cut 2 at the same time, so I just split it into 2, as you can see me do. So I have 2 pieces already. So each length is about 36 inches. And so I am making 3 of it. So if it's going to be 36, it's going to be 36 multiplied by 3, and that's going to be about 108 inches. So if you can get a fabric that is 108 inches length without splitting it, then that will be very good for you, because you don't need to join the fabrics together like the way I did. So a continuous length of 108 inches or 100 to 108 inches and a width of 9 inches will be enough for our beautiful knot that is going to be front of our turban. Now moving on to our sewing machine, the first thing is to put the satin and the African print fabric together, and then just sew it with a 0.5 inches seam allowance from top to bottom. Okay, so after sewing it together, you can see that they are joined together. You see the joining. All right, so I'm going to fold it out again, or fold it to the knit side, and then I'm going to take 2.5 inches away. So I'm going to start at 2.5 inches away from the edge, and 1 inch or 1.1 inch. I'm showing you that's ladder immediately after 1 inch. That's the allowance you are going to put in for your elastic tunnel. So you see, I'm measuring 1.1 inch from the base of my cap to make a tunnel for my elastic. At the other edge, I'm also going to leave 2 inches space. I'm going to show you what we are going to use that 2 inches space for. It's just going to be easy for us to join the two ends of our cap together like that way, but we are not going to do that yet. I'm just showing you why we are leaving that 2 inches allowance. So now we are going to first of all put our elastic through our tunnel. Now from each edge of the cap, you are going to measure 8 inches. 8 inches. I'm using the satin side so it will be clearer for us to see. So we're going to measure 8 inches away from the edge of that cap. 8 inches from each edge, and so we're going to pass the elastic, and the elastic is going to stretch between the inches remaining. I hope you understood that, the inches remaining between the 8 inches on both sides. So I'm passing the elastic through our tunnel now, and I'm going to sew the elastic exactly on that 8-inch mark that I marked before. So this is me sewing on the 8 inches mark. Okay, that is 8 inches mark, and then I'm going to now keep passing the elastic out through the tunnel. I'm passing it out so I can take my pin back, not because I want the elastic to get to the end of the tunnel. So I'm just going to take my pin back, and then I'm going to move the elastic gingerly and gingerly, carefully back to that my other 8 inches mark, and I'm going to sew on that part. So look at the elastic right in the middle. It's just to make it firm on our head. It's just to make it firm on our head so it doesn't slip out, or it's just to give it a nice firm look behind our heads. All right, so when I stretch it out, when I stretch the cap out, it's going to be about 20 or it's going to be about 21 inches, which is going to be the circumference of the person's head I'm trying to make it for. Now we're going back to the reason why we took out those 2 inches in the beginning. So I just folded the both of them on each other, and I pinned it down so it's going to be easy. And I'm going to sew 1 inch, just 1 inch above it, from the African print down to the satin part. So 1 inch on the African print side and 1 inch on the satin side. Okay, so I'm going to cut the thread out, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. So you see that that's going to be a very neat finish, and then you're just going to sew on the you're going to sew on your 1 inch band, and just join both of them together. So it's just to make a cohesive stitch line between the 2 inches that you didn't sew before and on either side, and then that's just what you did. So I hope you understood it. If you have any questions, please comment in the comment section and let me know the question that you have. Now I'm going to take my needle and thread, and I'm going to scrunch it up. So this is me gathering it with my thread. You can use your sewing machine to also do these gathers parts by stitching with the longest stitch on your sewing machine and then pulling the thread. But I just have a special thing for using my needle and thread to do it instead. Don't mind me. I don't know, maybe I think it's faster or whatever, I don't know, but I'm going to use my needle and thread to stitch it all the way to the top and squeeze it out. Do you see that? Look at the cap, it's already forming, it's already becoming a beautiful cap. Oh yeah. Okay, so after doing that, I'm just going to tie my thread, or knot my thread. Look at me talking like a bush girl. I'm going to just knot my thread and make it look okay, and then cut it out. All right, so you see I stitched it on the right side outside. I put it outside. I'll show you why I put it outside. Now I'm going to join my 36 inches fabrics. Remember I told you. Now if you cut out a continuous line of 108 inches, you don't need to do this part. You don't need to do any joining because you cut a continuous line of fabric. But I didn't cut a continuous line of fabric, and that's why I joined it first. And so I'm going to just fold it into 2 and stitch from the top all the way down to the bottom. Okay, so this is me just stitching my fabric from the top to the bottom, and when I finish stitching that, I'm just going to turn it inside out. This turning inside out is not easy. I even had to stand up to start turning it because it was so long. Oh boy, it's not easy. Oh, I'm just telling you, but it can be done. All right, so after turning it inside out, I just folded it into two. So I fold my entire length into two, and then I start to roll it the way you are seeing me roll it. Yeah, yeah, control it. Yeah, yeah, roll it. And you see that. So I just place it right on top of the cap like that. And I have a glue gun. If you have a glue gun, you can use a glue gun and gum it. If you need to use your needle and thread, which I probably prefer, you can also use your needle and thread to gum it. But the glue gun is very easier. So as a very hardworking get that I am, I'm using glue gun. All right, okay, so I plugged in my glue gun, and then okay, so this is me showing you how to roll it, how to roll your twist. And so I just put in my glue gun and gum it, and then roll it some more and gum. Don't worry, I will bring the fabric up for you to see how I'm doing it even much clearer. So I just put the gum on each roll and gum it, and I put it on the next row underneath it, and I gum it just like you're seeing me do. So I just put it on each one, the next row under it again, and then I gum it the next row. Look at that, I think that's clearer. The next row, and then I gum it, and then I put it again the next one, and I gum it. I think you get the gist of what I'm doing. I believe you get the gist of what I'm doing. And then that is how we make our beautiful knot that is on top of our turban cap. I know using glue gun is pretty messy, but you can use your needle and thread to achieve the same thing or the same look. So I just stuck that one in at the back, and I will gum it down, and then we'll have our knot that we'll put in the front of our cap. Like I said, if you have any questions for me whatsoever of any step, maybe I was too fast or something, please comment in the comment section or feel free to say something about it in the comment section, and I will make sure to reply you to clarify anything. So now I believe we have our beautiful knot, and this is me taking my needle and thread to also still stitch it some more. So I use a combination of glue gun and needle and thread to make sure that the knot stays in place. It's not easy. Please use a thimble. I injured myself so many times using needle and thread to make it. Look, I'm using fabric to push out the needle and everything. It was not easy. So please use a thimble, or if you have iron hand, you can use iron hand. Just saying, but like, protect your fingers, protect your poor fingers while you're pushing the needle through, because the fabric is very, very thick, and so it's not easy for the needle to come out of it. So our knot is ready, and now I'm just going to place the knot on the cap. Now you see the reason why we put the what would I call it, the stitching or the ruffle of the gathers right in front of it, because we are going to use this knot to cover it up, so the inside can be neat. Look at the inside, very neat, and the outside can also be neat. So that is why the ruffles or the stitching or the gathers were just right in front of the cap, and now I just place an heavy item on it to gum everything down. And now if you have any stain from the glue gun, just iron it, use a hot iron on it, and the stain will go away. So I placed that heavy material on it, and that's the end of my tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Look at me dancing, I'm happy. So have a good one. Bye.